guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale with an awesome new Miner Poison Skeleton Barrel deck. You guys are going to love it. Before we get into the replays here and even a live match to start things off here, you can see Kirito, aka LucasGamer, my third Brazilian pro, maybe my fourth now. I forgot if I'm missing anybody, but certainly Samuel and Wen, and now LucasGamer. Really good players. This is the deck, by the way, guys. You saw it flash on the screen just now. I want to give a shout out to my top 30 demographics who are watching my video. Is your name on that list, or the country of, it'd be weird if you were named after your country, I guess. Is the name of your country on that list? If not, where are you guys watching from? You can see we're into a live battle here. I do want to give a special shout out to my number 9 country demographic here on CWA Mobile Gaming. That is Brazil. Again, that is where Kirito, aka LucasGamer, is from. I also want to give a shout out to number 2, India, still rising in popularity here on CWA Mobile Gaming. And I do have a special treat for my Indian viewers coming towards the end of the month or early next month. Stay tuned for that. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Anyway, here we go into the live match here. You guys probably saw it, but Kirito is number 7 right now in the world using this deck. He's absolutely dominating with this deck that you can use both at tournament level standard and in ladder. We'll talk about legendary substitutions. Just hang in there for a bit after this live match, and then we'll have a little bit of time to collect ourselves and breathe. But you can see, added the skeleton barrel to this deck. I think be interesting. B-Rad, tag, if you guys are out there, if you're watching, let me know. What do you guys think of this deck? Because you guys are really the miner pioneers, especially B-Rad. Man, you're still on my list to get you on my channel. One of these days, man. One of these days. So, I've had almost every pro I've ever asked on the channel, but hey, some people, rightfully so, just would rather not be on YouTube or would rather not share all their secrets. Anyway, we have Kirito, who obviously is an incredible beast with miner decks himself, and here we are. You can see doing a very good job of distracting both Inferno Dragons and also Princes with the skeleton barrel. Skeleton barrel can be used extremely versatilely on defense as well as on offense. You can see he uses a skeleton barrel in so many different ways that it's almost hard to keep track. He can use it as a solo counter lane push, so the opponent drops a giant or something in the back, and you can see we have a really big lead here, but this is probably going to be a big push. Let's shut up for a second and watch and see what happens here. Skeleton barrel and Inferno Dragon and guards versus a big push of Prince, guards. But look at those skeletons, guys. Again, skeleton barrel on defense, just doing some work and buying time for Kirito to get more elixir to defend. And look at that. That could have been a devastating push. And he's only down to 1961. Great year. 2 years after my dad was born. That's kind of how old I am, guys. Anyway, here comes a miner getting a little bit of chip damage on the right. That puts it in 1 poison range. It looks like Kirito's going to win this match. Oh, he drops a troll poison on the King Tower live on CWA. Man, that was a ballsy move there. That was a ballsy move, Lucas. So it looks like he actually might take down this left tower here, and then he finally drops a poison with the finishing blow to that right tower. Maybe it was Gold Rush. Maybe it wasn't a troll move. Maybe he's just trying to get a little bit more gold out of that battle. I don't think that's the case. He is max after all. Anyway, let's check to see where he is right now, guys. It says 7, but that's not updated. Let's look at the overall leaderboard. Okay, he is 5th right now. You can see Kirito, number 5, reppin' Sandstorm. Let's go ahead and GG, and then let's go look at some replays here. He provided me with a nice plethora of replays to share with you guys. I think you guys are gonna really love this deck. Now, you need Miner, unfortunately, for those of you who don't have him. It's the one legendary that you can't sub out of this deck. So if you don't have Miner, well, enjoy the replays, but it's going to be very tough. Let's look at the other legendary cards, which are, of course, the Bandit and the Inferno Dragon. So how are we going to replace those cards? A little bit tricky in this deck because Bandit is so strong still right now in the game. She has to be answered even when played at the bridge. She can be played even on defense in a pinch, and she has that dash ability that can even go over the river into your opponent's supporting troops. So, of course, tough to replace her. However, I would probably sub in maybe a Battle Ram if you want that charging effect, even a Dark Prince if you want some splash damage, a little bit stronger on defense, or you could go with a safe sub in the Knight. In the Inferno Dragon, that's another tough one. Of course, you could summon the Inferno Tower. However, I do have to be honest, Inferno Tower to me is just the weakest it's ever been after it got that bug fix against it. So again, with the Inferno Dragon, I would personally sub in the hidden Tesla or just the Tesla card. I think that the Tesla Tower is a really strong card right now defensively. I would actually prefer it to the Inferno Tower. Anyway, let's hop into this next match here. You guys can already see we're already in the next match, Ash. Funny story, I was recording this video and I started flipping out so badly at the end of that last match when he dropped that troll poison that I went to like a huge coughing fit. And as you guys know, I don't edit or pre-record or do any of that fancy stuff on my channel here. It's all just one take, boom. And so I had to start over. Coughing fit. What are you gonna do? Still sick, you know? Anyway, here we go. Going against a Hog Executioner Tornado deck. Does this deck look familiar to you guys? You CWA fans might know that I shared this as the best Hog deck right now in the meta. I truly believe it's strong. I've gotten a lot of comments on this deck, the Hog deck on the bottom, played by Latini too. And a lot of you guys said it's helped you get higher in trophies than you ever been. So I'm super I'm super glad to hear that you guys enjoy the deck. However, today it's going to lose against this. Look at this. Even in the left lane right now, Skeleton Barrel does make contact onto that tower, taking it down to like 1,400, less than 1,400, 1,383. Meanwhile, we get some damage with a miner on the right tower down to 1,230. But the big issue here is look at our tower, guys. Look at it. 377 damage plus that log. It's going within poison range really soon, but look at this. Even with the tornado, it comes a little bit too early. All of those skeletons are going to survive and take down that left tower. I'll tell you what, guys. Skeleton Barrel can be really annoying now. Not only does it have that little extra damage to it when it dies, when it explodes, but also those skeletons, you have to get your log or your tornado or your zapped timed absolutely perfectly to take them out. For 3 elixir, I think that Skeleton Barrel is now officially a tier 1 card, a tier 1 support card. Certainly can't be the only win condition in a deck, but it synergizes so well with Miner. So here we go against a Mega Knight deck, a giant Mega Knight deck against this fellow here on the bottom from North Rebellion, whose name I cannot pronounce. So he opts to use the minions, which are a really good counter, obviously, against Skeleton Barrel, and now he's going to push a little bit in the left lane. Let's see how we handle this defensively. It's going to be the Ice Golem, and then Guards and Bandit are going to take care of that giant before he even reaches the tower to get one hit off. Of course, no air targeting here, so it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but the opponent has to drop something. He drops the Mega Knight because there was no way to, or that Bandit, excuse me, had to be dealt with. And there it is, a miner, a defensive miner. So this is something that I want to point out to you guys, and you'll see this a lot in Lucas's gameplay. He's not afraid to use defensive miners. We saw a bunch in the first match. If you need that distraction tank and you don't have Ice Golem in the cycle, don't be afraid to play that defensive miner. And there we go, making contact on that left tower, and the opponent has no elixir left to defend. That means Inferno Dragon's gonna charge up and take down that left tower. The opponent saying, wow, mad face, mad face. I like how I do a play-by-play of the emotes. Wow, mad face, happy face, sad face. That would be the worst YouTube channel ever, right? If it was just someone going, hey guys, sad, okay, player blue gives a sad face, and then mad face. Anyway, here we go, Skeleton Barrel, but guess what, guys? We're gonna need something else against that Skeleton Barrel. The opponent should be using his Zap or his Fireball. It looks like maybe he's conserving elixir to try to get this one big monster push off. That is indeed the case. He has Zap ready, didn't want to use it on the Skeleton Barrel, instead he uses it on the Inferno Dragon. Guess what? Not gonna be enough. That giant's only gonna get one hit on that right tower, guys, and that is going to be all she wrote pretty much here. This deck is surprisingly pretty solid defensively. So even when you have the lead going into double elixir time against a heavier deck, such as this situation, you have a lot of answers. Again, we see the defensive miner there, and look at this good spacing here. Oh, perfect use of the Bandit there, keeping the Inferno Dragon away from that E-Wiz, and now another push here for Kirito, and the right tower is down. This is going to be a 3 crown. The opponent looks to have given up. This deck is so annoying. There it is, Inferno Dragon, he's heating up, and tower down, 3 crown. Good game, good luck. That was really good. Man, you can see, though, just through these replays and through that one live match, just how annoying this deck can be. Let's go ahead and watch this last replay together, guys, against a Golem deck. How do you deal with a big, fat Golem deck with Night Witch that can be used to kind of mitigate the effectiveness of your Inferno Dragon, which obviously should be your big weapon? So let's really focus on the gameplay here in this last match. Of course, Metal Bond, shout out to Nova Esports, is going against Kirito here on the bottom. Kirito on the top, I should say. Metal Bond on the bottom. A good beatdown player is Metal Bond, and you can see he's starting out pretty slow. As the beatdown player, as the Golem player, he has no real incentive to go super, super strong early on in this match. So he's just splitting guards in the back here, trying to do some defense. Here comes the Baby Dragon onto the Skeleton Barrel. Let's see how this interaction goes. Of course, Baby Dragon distracted by the guards. We're going to get a lot of damage again. I mean, sure, it doesn't seem like a ton, but we ended up getting a decent amount of damage there, like almost 700 damage on that right tower. Really, really solid. Here comes the poison being played along with that knight. Again, just getting a little bit more chip damage here. We're down to about 23 or 2,400 or so left on that right tower. And, you know, we're about halfway into the match here. So still anybody's game. It looks like Metal Bond's going to drop a Golem. He finally does. He does leak 1 or 2 elixir. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and look at the split lane push here, guys. We have the Bandit in the left, and look at this on the right. The opponent has no elixir to stop this right now. He's just going to take a ton of damage, both to his Golem, taking about 25% damage, and to the tower, now down to 1204. The opponent's going to opt to use a rocket against that Inferno Dragon, and, you know, he had no other choice other than to use that rocket, because otherwise the Golem just would have died and done no damage. But what a great elixir trade for Kirito, getting that +2 on that Inferno Dragon rocket exchange. So 23-38 left on the right tower. Here we go again into the right lane, again with one of these annoying pushes. You can see he's not afraid to really combo any of his cards with that Skeleton Barrel, and as we know, guys, Tornado from the last match doesn't work that well against the Skeleton Barrel, surprisingly, which is good because people aren't used to having to defend against the Skeleton Barrel. Right lane is down to 108, just 1 poison will take care of that. We're gonna go all out in this left lane because the opponent did drop that Golem. The opponent, Metal Bond, does opt to defend a little bit here, and it looks like we're going to get the Baby Dragon. Well, no, I take that back. Here comes the Inferno Dragon, excuse me, in the right lane, and another rocket used against the Inferno Dragon. Guess what? It's going to be guards again against the Golem. Golem will get probably 1 or 2 hits off on that tower, but it's not going to go down, guys. Meanwhile, the right tower does go down, and we're doing a good job defensively here with both the Poison and the Bandit, and again, the Skeleton Barrel, just buying us more time, and indeed, it gets the job done. So guys, best of luck with this new minor poison Skeleton Barrel deck. Huge shout out again to LucasXGamer for providing these replays, and of course Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information in the description below. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.